Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not motivation, it is not comfort, it is a way of living forged by blood, solitude, and absolute clarity. Miyamoto Musashi was not a hero, he was not a saint. He was a man who chose mastery over approval, truth over comfort, and victory over ego. Undefeated in over 60 duels, Musashi left behind principles not meant for swords alone, but for life, war, business, and the mind. This is the way of the warrior. Principle 1. Accept everything just the way it is. Musashi begins brutally simple, not because life is fair, but because resistance clouds judgment. Weak minds complain, strong minds observe. When you waste energy wishing things were different, you surrender your power. A warrior doesn't cry about the battlefield, he studies the terrain. Accept reality, then dominate within it. Principle 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Musashi rejected indulgence. No addiction to comfort, no slavery to desire. Why? Because pleasure weakens discipline. The modern world trains you to chase dopamine food, entertainment, validation. Musashi trained himself to endure boredom, hunger, and isolation. The man who controls his desires cannot be controlled by others. Principle 3. Do not depend on a partial feeling. Emotion is information, but never authority. Anger lies. Fear exaggerates. Desire manipulates. Musashi fought with a cold mind, even when death was near. In life, if you act only when you feel like it, you will lose to someone who acts, regardless of feeling. Discipline is choosing logic over mood. Principle 4. Think lightly of yourself, deeply of the world. Ego is the enemy of mastery. Musashi didn't care about reputation. He cared about truth. When you think too much of yourself, you stop learning, you stop listening, you stop improving. The warrior is humble before reality, but ruthless with his effort. Shrink your ego. Expand your awareness. Principle 5. Be detached from desire your whole life. Attachment creates fear. Fear creates hesitation. Hesitation gets you killed in battle, in business, in life. Musashi fought without clinging, not to victory, not to survival, not even to life. That's why he moved freely. Detach from outcomes. Focus on execution. When you stop needing things to go your way, you become dangerous. Principle 6. Do not regret what you have done. Regret traps the mind in the past. Musashi believed that once you decide, once you act, you move forward without looking back. Mistakes are lessons. Hesitation is poison. A warrior reflects but never dwells. Learn, adjust, advance. Principle 7. Never be jealous. Jealousy is a confession of weakness. When you envy another, you admit they control your emotions. Musashi competed only with himself. Another person's success is irrelevant to your path. Your only enemy is who you were yesterday. Principle 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Loss is inevitable. People leave. Opportunities end. Chapters close. The warrior grieves briefly, then adapts. Musashi lived alone for years because solitude sharpened him. Attachment makes you fragile. Adaptability makes you immortal. Principle 9. Resentment and complaints are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Complaining is surrender disguised as conversation. Every complaint says, I refuse responsibility. Musashi took responsibility for everything. If something is wrong, fix it, leave it, or endure it. But do not poison your mind with resentment. Principle 10. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Love can blind, lust can weaken. Musashi did not reject relationships. He rejected dependency. When emotion controls action, strategy dies. The warrior chooses consciously, not compulsively. Principle 11. In all things, have no preferences. This is advanced discipline. Musashi trained with any weapon, on any terrain, against any opponent. Preferences limit adaptability. Life doesn't ask what you prefer. The adaptable survive, the rigid break. Principle 12. Be indifferent to where you live. Comfort zones are invisible prisons. Musashi lived wherever his path demanded mountains, villages, caves. He carried his strength within. If your peace depends on location, you are not free. Principle 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. This isn't about food, it's about discipline over appetite. The one who cannot control their hunger will never control their destiny. Musashi accepted death, so fear had no leverage over him. When you stop fearing loss, you stop being controlled. The man who has already accepted death cannot be threatened. Miyamoto Musashi was not undefeated because he was strong. He was undefeated because his mind was unchained. This path is not comfortable. It is not popular. It is not easy. But it creates clarity, discipline, and inner power. Choose the way, or remain ordinary. Thanks for watching.